Hi, and welcome to Ladies of Another View on Back. Today we've got some special guests. I'm here with Carmen, and Jan's going to slip back in later on in the day, but we only have 4 chairs. So these are the hot seats, only 4 of them. We are joined today by the current mayor and the former mayor of Valley City. Dave Carruthers is the mayor right now, and Mary Lee Nielsen, she was the mayor from 2006 to
2010.
2010. I asked you ahead of time, but numbers, they don't stick in my head. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And the reason they're here is I actually met them both when I was in Valley City about a week ago, getting ready for the My Hometown segment that we're going to do in Valley City. We're actually going to do a 2-part segment, and it's going to air August 18th and August 19th. They couldn't make it for those segments, and they have really interesting things to talk about. Starting with the flood of 2009 and 2011. Not a fun time, right? Mary Lee, you were the mayor then. Tell us what happened.
It was. I mean, when it all started out, everyone thought it was a normal spring, you know, and then all of a sudden it started melting, and it tended to be more water going into Lake Ashtabula, which is north of Valley City, and releases into Valley City on the Cheyenne River that crosses and around and around and around Valley City. And as more water kept coming, and they said, this is going to be a major flood, all of a sudden, I mean, it was almost a surprise the way it all happened. And so here we were thrust into this, and it was like, okay, this is not going to be our normal dike building like we do in Valley City. We've been very fortunate to have, I mean, we've had floods, but we've been able to handle them ourselves before. But this time, you know, it was coming, and the water they were predicting was so much higher than we'd ever seen before. And so the National Guard was involved right away. We had the Corps of Engineers in right away. I mean, wonderful help, you know, from the state, from the national government, you know, coming in. But you when you've never done it before, it's, you know, it's a whole new
not like you go to training school, how to deal with a flood in your city before you become mayor. It was not from rain, right? Wasn't it from snow melt?
Yep, it was.
And it just overwhelmed, because we had floods here in Bismarck too. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask, when you said that the water going into Ashtabula, does this tie into Garrison Dam like it does for Bismarck? Does your water flow tie in as well?
Right. Lake Ashtabula is a reservoir that is being held for water for Fargo in the eastern part of the state. They made that Bald Hill Dam just to do that. And so that was the reservoir, and as water just kept coming in, and you know, the dam can only hold so much. And the biggest learning that they had there is now they go up north all the way in the snowpack area, and they measure snow every year now. And so we know how much, you know, they've got it down to a science pretty much now, how much water is going to be coming in, because they know how to measure the snowpack, which they had not done before.
So they're wiser now. They were better prepared in 2011.
Right.
I'd like to take a look at some pictures, because there's nothing more stressful than the water rising, buildings starting to get inundated, and it circled your hospital, right?
Well, yes, we had dikes circling our hospital, and so all the way around it. We had ring dikes around the most important buildings in Valley City. So we had the regular dikes right next to the river, but we also diked extra dikes around all the important buildings, because we knew we had, if there was any kind of a breach, we had to try to save the buildings, our infrastructure, as much as we could. And so we had dikes inside the dikes, and you know, so we had ring dikes. So you're looking at, the picture there is on our main street. You see our flood walls that we have now. On the top picture, the bottom picture was when we were starting to flood. You don't have the worst picture up there yet, because Main Street was totally covered by dikes, and we weren't able to use Main Street for months, you know, during then, because it took a while. With the flood of 2009, not only did we have flooding that we had to watch out for, right in that area there is a pipe that no one knew about, was coming from the river, and it was connected to our sewer system. And so all of a sudden we had water gushing into everyone's bathtubs, and just water when this pipe broke and opened up into the other system. everyone, we just all got calls from all over saying, water's coming up in our bathtubs, you know, and all this. And so I was saying, I had to get on and say, turn off the water, not knowing where it was coming from. And when they figured it out, I mean, it had blown out our sanitary sewer system in a great part of the town. And so we had to redo the whole system. So we had to build a system on top of the dike. We had an above ground sanitary sewer system for months.
Wow.
You know, the flood was in April, and it wasn't until, you know, October that we finally got everything back underground again. So we had, Main Street was shut down the whole time because the sewer system was on top of the.
Go ahead.
As we're talking about the plans being put in place, I realize I've been a little negligent because I did not attend talk show host school. And so I just realized the whole reason I have you in here isn't just because of the flood, but because of the plan they have in place.
Yes.
Because I know this year there's been flooding in different parts of the country. I just came back from Michigan. They had some flooding there. And I think it's amazing the kind of plan you're putting into place in Valley City, which is why I want to talk about the flood and why you're hoping you're never going to have to experience some of that again, right? And Dave, you are right now overseeing part of that plan, although it started under Mary Lee.
Right. Mary Lee laid the groundwork with the legislature and the State Water Commission, and so we've continued with that, and they've been very gracious in affording us cost shares with which we can live and still protect the community. Throwing a little plug here, Valley City, the city of bridges. And also, Expedia named Valley City as the most beautiful city in North Dakota. So we're pretty proud of that, and we love Valley
Well
City.
worth
and
a
so we're
visit, I
here.
must say.
Yeah,
Indeed.
we hope you'll come back again.
Oh, I will.
And so, anyway, we continue with building in phases, and depending on how oil is doing and the economy, so that the Water Commission has money to share with us. We can save money by investing these monies in permanent flood protection. If we had floods in 9, 10, and 11. 10 wasn't quite as significant, but 9 and 11 were major floods. And if either one of those flood battles had failed, it would have cost $57 million to repair and put back together for either one. If they would have both breached, you're talking over $100 million pretty fast.
How do you come up with money for a flood plan to protect a city like that? Because I know you're building flood walls all over. Where does that money come from?
Federal and state, it's administered by the state, and then there's a cost share that each community has to put forward, so that there's some ownership, and we're just really grateful for the generosity and the identification of need for that project.
And in the long run, you're going to save money. So
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
started an R&R fund that helped contribute for permanent
Okay.
flood protection, and that was just it was an extra cost that we put on our utilities and that type of thing, because it all affected the utilities, and so there's an extra fund, and you know, we did that because everyone pays utilities, and so it's across the board taxes. Not anyone that can get. We have a university in town. And, you know, and a lot of times universities and churches and this type of thing don't have to pay certain taxes, but they all use the utilities. And so that's why we said we started the R&R fund, because everyone pays utilities. And so everyone contributes to permanent flood protection.
Valley City really is an amazing city, and I encourage everybody to go visit. It's beautiful, and to know that you have this kind of a very ambitious plan in place so that you are not going to go through that kind of flooding again. We're going to be right back. We're going to talk about the trifecta of byways, national designations for Valley City, when we come back with Ladies of Another View on Back.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
I'm Rick Becker from No Apologies. Welcome to your after-hours oasis of sanity. Watch us weeknights at 9 Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
Hi, I'm Dennis Haugen, along with my sons Andy and Mike, and we're showing our support for wind energy in North Dakota.
Wind energy has provided farmers like us with a steady stream of income that's not tied to the weather like crops and cattle are.
Another bonus is that wind farm owners are required to maintain the roads leading up to the turbines. Because of that, oftentimes these roads are the best in the county.
Wind energy is good for landowners, it's good for the land, it's good for our economy, and it's good for North Dakota.
Calling all first responders. Join us Saturday, July 31st for First Responders Night at the Bismarck Event Center. The Bucks take on the Green Bay Blizzard with a 7:10 p.m. Central Time kickoff, and will highlight those who serve and protect our communities. For more information on tickets, visit bismarckbucks.com and download your free general admission ticket today. Saturday, July 31st, it's the Blizzard versus your Bismarck Bucks. See you on the 31st. Go Bucks!
Pub 21, your one stop for fun, drinks, and food. Our spacious facility provides COVID-safe fun for you and all your friends. With nightly bingo and specials, you can be sure there's something to do for everyone. If you're staying in for the night, we've got you covered just across the way with Pub 21 Liquor. We have a wide variety of options, from wine to whiskey and everything in between. Stop in today at 1014 South 12th Street in Bismarck to see what all the buzz is about. You won't be disappointed.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck, and we are once again joined with Mayor Dave Karlsrud and the former mayor, Mary Lee Nielsen. Mary Lee, while she was fighting the flood and being mayor, she had another job.
I did.
Because it's a part-time job, right? Being a mayor?
Yeah, right.
It's a full-time job with part-time hours. No, it's the other way around. But anyway, you were the marketing coordinator, and you still are, for the Cheyenne Valley National Scenic Byway.
Correct.
And you have two national designations of byways, and you're going for a third.
Yeah.
Explain to us, what are the byways that you have there?
Well, actually, the national designations, one is for the Cheyenne River Valley National Scenic Byway, and we were the first National Scenic Byway designated in the state of North Dakota. And we were very ambitious to get the byway done. We've received 3 national awards through the byway so far, leveraging resources, our interpretation as we receive national awards. And we also, the event that we started on the byway called Riverfest was another national award winner for visitor experience.
When is Riverfest every year usually? Or like when was it
up.
this year?
Yeah,
coming
it's
up,
coming
right?
up real fast. Yes, it's August 7th is our big day for Riverfest in Valley City.
And I want to just stop and say that this byway, this river byway, is a 63-mile drive, right?
Yes.
And you have everything like the dam, visitor center, Medicine Wheel Park, Springs, Standing Rock, historic site, Fort Ransom, all kinds of beautiful sites and bridges, right? Bridges along the way.
63 miles of fun, we always say, as you do it. And the fun part is, we start at Lake Ashtabula, north of Valley City, and we go all the way to Lisbon on the byway. Oh, and there's
There we
Riverfest.
go.
as
This
you
is the
see it.
Riverfest,
That's
yeah.
Riverfest. We always say we're going to have a world's record on the Cheyenne River of boats launched on the Cheyenne River. And so
Flotilla.
it's a flotilla. And we don't just stop in Valley City, we also go down to Fort Ransom.
Which
This
bridge is this?
This is the bridge, well, that's the Highline Bridge. The other one was Valley City State University Walking Bridge, but that's part of the North Country Trail, which is the second designation we have for national designation. North Country Trail is a nationally designated trail by the Congress, and it's even longer than the Appalachian Trail. Wow. And it's because
I
it goes
didn't
from,
know that.
goes from Crown Point, New York to Lake Sakakawea in North Dakota, 4,700 miles.
Wow.
Trail.
I've been on the Appalachian Trail, and here there's a national trail right in our backyard.
Yes, there is.
How many people know that? I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Well, and one thing with the North Country Trail, if we have started a chapter, and you can decide where the trail goes through in your area. And so when we put the North Country Trail, we made sure it went right through Medicine Wheel Park in Valley City, down the hill, and it went up, right straight up Central Avenue through our downtown district. So we get people hiking right through downtown Valley City. And then we take them out under the Highline Bridge, which is one you saw there for Riverfest, the big train bridge.
Highline Bridge is a historic one, isn't it? When it was, I don't know what year it was built. Do you know?
Ooh,
1906 they started.
Okay, with no cranes.
I know.
No cranes. And at the time, was it the longest railroad bridge?
It's about a mile span.
It is, yes. It is by the American Society of Engineers. It is the longest combination bridge in North America. It's not the tallest, and it's not the longest, but as a combination, being tall and long, they call it the biggest combination bridge in North America. It's 162 feet high.
Isn't that beautiful?
And almost a mile long.
And what fun to take your boat, your kayak, your canoe, and go under it.
You go right under it for
Combination bridge, are you saying it's railroad and cars?
No, it's just the combination of length and height.
Oh,
is what
got
that's
it. Okay.
But it is just a railroad bridge.
Because when we were kids, we used to go over a bridge that you had to wait and hope the train wasn't coming, and then you zoomed over because it was all.
Not supposed to do that there. We won't talk
Right.
about that right
No,
now.
we won't.
Yeah, Carmen.
Well,
There's kids watching. Come on.
But no, there was a road on there. It was just the train took part of the road. I don't know.
So we have the hiking trail, and then the third national designation that we are going after right now is a water trail. We're getting the river designated as a national water trail, and that goes from Bald Hill Dam all the way past the grasslands east of Lisbon, and it's 180 miles of river.
Wow.
And so we have 19 landings that are going to be along the way. But to get the national designation, we need signage, we need to do all these things. So we've been busy writing grants, and we've received 2 out of our 3 grants, so I think we're going to start construction next year on it. Because we want to sign every single bridge, and there are, I have to look at this because there's 38 bridges
38
along the way.
bridges.
Yep, they're going to have 75-mile each signs, and so we have 19 landings. And right now we have 15 of the landings, but we're fixing all those with this grant. We're fixing them up, and we're adding 4 new landings along the way too. So you don't have to go so far in between everything. And so that's going to be our Cheyenne Water Trail. So
When you write those grants, who do you submit them to?
well, the ones that these are North Dakota grants. We did the Outdoor Heritage Grant, the Recreational Trails Grant, and we also applied to Garrison Conservancy District. They have a recreation grant too. So those are the 3 entities we applied for. And we've heard from 2 out of 3 of them. We've received our grant, and the 3rd one we're just waiting to hear. So
If you can write a grant, you're welcome in any town, right, in a city. And I should say you're a city commissioner right now again.
well,
right?
I was. I'm not
You were,
anymore.
okay.
Yep, I would love to work with Dave, but I just haven't decided to run again. So.
I imagine you have a lot going on right now, getting all these national designations,
yeah.
bringing it here to North Dakota.
It's an exciting time to be in Valley City, isn't it, Dave?
It is. It really is. And one thing that hasn't been mentioned here today is the number of volunteers we have. We have committees for beautification and the projects that Mary Lee has been, to which she has been referring. And so we're very grateful for the people in and around Valley City in that region who contribute time to making things happen.
Very much a pride in your community and state.
It is.
Ordeal, right?
You know, we live in Valley City, so we're proud of Valley City, but Valley City is a relatively small community, and so we're more of a regional activity, so to speak, than just standing alone. We have to depend on partnerships with Lisbon and Fort Ransom and even Jamestown, even though they're bigger. But yeah, we just need to collaborate if we're going to be successful.
I love that your national hiking trail goes right through town. That is perfect because you've got some great little restaurants and shops and coffee shops, and 180 miles of the river. That's amazing too. But we've come to the end of our segment, and I just want to thank you so much for coming all the way from Valley City. And now I want to encourage everybody to go out over to Valley City and see what's going on there, because there's a lot.
Stop in at the Rosebud Visitor Center and see us. I might be there to greet you. Yeah. And so please do.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We're going to be right back.
Thank you.
We're going to move to a more serious topic. We're going to talk about women in the draft when we come back with Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
Go for Launch 2018 series winner. Without further ado, it is my honors. Regina. The winning team is the Flumin River Excellent.
Oh my God!
They won!
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm gonna pass the savings directly on to you. For example, you get my 6-piece towel sets, regular $109.99, now only $44.98, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Ever been in a cave before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the car!
But how will we?
The car! Your offer's been accepted. Ever bought a house before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the closing.
But how will we?
The closing!
Hey everybody, I'm Doug Billings, your host of The Right Side with Doug Billings on Beck News. We bring you high-profile guests, ladies and gentlemen, exclusive guests. Now, you're not going to see these guests in most of the mainstream media outlets. Another thing that I do here is give guests a platform to speak freely. You're not going to see me censor anybody. Please join us, won't you? Weeknights right here on Beck TV and online at beck.news. Cheers.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck, and welcome, Jan.
Hello.
Glad to have you join us.
Yes, indeed.
That was so interesting. You know, I got to sit off to the side and listen to the whole conversation, and wow, there's so many things I didn't know. And we travel east almost every weekend during the summer, and Valley City's one of our stops. That's where we'll grab a bite or fill up with gas or those kinds of things. And I only get to see just small portions of the city, but what I've seen, I'm in love.
Right?
Yeah, I was there a week ago, I think, and I love Valley City. It's amazing. I'm going back, and I encourage other people to take a look. And that's why we're doing the My Hometown series, because we really want people in North Dakota and across the country, because we have people watching throughout the United States, to see these treasures that we have here in the small hometowns. Now, Valley City is about 6,500, so I don't know if you want to call it a town, a small city, but there's a lot there worth seeing.
Well, just listening to them, it's like, I had no idea. But yet you drive by and it's like, yeah, it's not quite as big as Jamestown, and just keep going. And it's one of North Dakota's hidden treasures, I think. And now we know about it too, and our viewers, right?
Yes, definitely not a flyover, and it's definitely not a drive-through. I mean, as a kid, we would take vacations to the east, and we always look forward to that big dive down the hill on the interstate and
into the
back
valley.
up the other side. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And we're like, oh, pretty easy to see how it got its name. But, you know, you have to go into the city to see all those treasures.
You want to pass it by. One thing I do want to pass by is women in the draft. I want to go right over that because I don't think it's a good idea. And it's been talked about before, but it's really being seriously talked about now in the Senate because they have a newly approved defense budget that includes a provision requiring women to register for the draft. Now, my understanding is it's not set in stone, and there's debate going on. And I was reading different publications, and left publications were criticizing the right for being up in arms about it, but I'm up in arms about it. I don't think it's a good idea to have women have to register for the draft. What do you guys think?
I think personally it should not be mandatory for women simply because women carry our babies. And I think back to Vietnam and all the Agent Orange and the things that went on with our servicemen there and what it did to them as far as their health over time. I mean, it wasn't necessarily showing up right away, but you talk to Vietnam vets and hear some of the horror stories from Agent Orange. And I wonder what it would do to that facet of a woman being able to bear children and have healthy children. And you know, there could be another Agent Orange. There could be a lot of things. If a woman chooses to go in, that's one thing. If not, I would hate to see them forcefully put into harm's way when they didn't sign up or want to sign up.
Well, I was trying to make a list of why and why not. I mean, you know, there's got to be a reason why they want the women to be registered. And from what I could dig up, I'm understanding it to be one of those things of gender equality. And yep. I'm like, of all the worst reasons in the world to require women to do something like that, when having more people in the service is to replace the bodies or the maimed or the killed or the captured during a war. That's why you want to have a reserve of people that you can call up. And we want our women to do that. That makes my stomach turn. You know, as far as why not, like it or not, tough people and strong women are not physically superior to men. That's just how it is. I'm sorry, you know, that's
there's
physical.
some exceptions.
But even I believe it was the Marines did a study in 2015, an in-depth study as a matter of fact, and what they found is that on average, the strongest woman is only as strong as the weakest man. And that's after, you know, going through basic training and all that. And basic training, that is okay, I'll get in trouble for this one, but that is a brainwashing in a sense, because anyone that's been in the service will tell you it's pretty much a physical, mental, and emotional beatdown to bring you in line, to make sure that you follow authority, because everybody has to depend on you. And you know, you can't let anybody down. You have to be the one that is always willing to do exactly what you're called upon for, whether it's, you know, to rescue one of your comrades that's been injured. You know, the strongest woman isn't going to pick up the strongest man. There's going to be the adrenaline happening and all that in a combat situation, but it's not going to be the norm. I'm sorry.
Right. If you have an army, if you have to rely on an army to defend you, are you going to choose an army of men or an army of women? And like I said, you know, we're not discounting women. We're not.
Not at all.
And we think women should have opportunities the same as men. But to require the draft, you need certain building blocks, if that's the right word, in your society, and you need certain roles. And I'm not that can be confused. To people say, oh, just women can have women's roles. But who's going to take care of the children, okay? Are you going to send women to war and the men stay home and take care of children? Of course not. Somebody has to take care of the children and be at home. And if women choose that that's where they want to spend time and have a career there, then fine. But I can't imagine, sisters and daughters, wives, that their place is in the military. What kind of society would we have?
Well, and the other piece is, what we are doing to our men on the whole in our society as far as what is acceptable, what is not with male behavior, correct? So you get in the military. I remember the stories from when we were in the Middle East and some of the male soldiers, how hard it was for them to treat the women the same as they would treat a male, in their group, company, or whatever. And if that woman was on the front lines taking the hits, how hard it was to not rush to protect her. That's just in men, And so when you have, and granted, there have been matriarchal armies. I mean, there have been women armies that in history that have been tough, and I get that. But I don't think we're living in those same times right now. And for our men, I think we really have to look at it seriously, what it will do to them. And will it dehumanize our society a little bit more, where women aren't special, women aren't to be treated any differently than a guy, And some women say, absolutely, that's true. That's the way it should be. But I think the majority of women say, no, I don't, and yet they want to be of service. But you know what? Then let them volunteer. The ones who want to do it, let them do it. But the ones who don't, the ones who, you look at all the draft dodgers at Vietnam War time that went to Canada.
That's what's going to happen.
And
Come on. There will be women.
Well, like you said, in history, there have been women armies. The Russians drafted their women. The Israelis drafted their women. But they found out that the mixed gender troops were the first ones to get injured or killed, and they were the least effective. So they've backed off from that. So why are we not learning lessons from them? And just a point for all of you in North Dakota, Kevin Kramer voted for this. Take note. So you may want to have a conversation.
Well, the Senate is split right now between, it's 50-50 between Republicans and Democrats, but they're going to need 60 votes. So it's still being debated. I guess maybe contact your representatives and give them an earful, let them know what you think. So, okay, we're going to, before we go to the next break, I want everybody to pull out their cell phones. And we are hoping that you vote for Back TV as the best of the best. This is what you need to do. Dial 701-369-9464, and then you text 699, and that will register your vote for Back TV as the best of the best. And if you're watching, I'm sure you agree with us, so we appreciate your vote. Yeah, this is the contest with the Bismarck Tribune. And we try to be the best of the best. I mean, granted, we haven't been through any special training, but we are who we are, and we're here for you guys, and we appreciate you joining us. And when we come back, we're going to do something a little bit lighter. Speaking of the best, how to be your best self and to be happier. We're going to talk about ways to do that when we come back with Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Since opening in Hebron in 1940, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been your hometown bank. Our mission has been to provide modern banking convenience with old-fashioned hometown service. We've grown with the communities we serve through year-round events, countless sponsorships, and nearly 7,000 hours of volunteering each year. Learn more about our 80-year history at dakotacommunitybank.com.
Hop in the rig and go down the road with me. We'll cover local and national stories that impact you. Down the Road with Joel Heitkamp weekdays at 5:30 Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got my pillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm going to pass the savings directly on to you. Go to MyPillow.com right now to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. For example, you can get my premium MyPillows, regularly $69.98, now just $29.98, the lowest price ever.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Back. And I want to go over a little something here. We have some remedial texters here in studio. I'm not going to mention any names. And maybe it's me. Maybe I said it wrong. Maybe I'm a remedial talk show host. But between us, we're going to go over this again, just in case anybody else missed it. The phone number, you don't dial it to make a phone call. You bring up your texting feature, and then you put in the number 701-369-9464. Then you text. In the texting window, you put 699, and you hit send. And then you're going to get a nice little message. Thank you for voting for Beck Communications Bismarck.
Yay.
Got it,
There
ladies?
you go. Got it done.
Got it.
But we all listened so well that we both got out our phones and started dialing a phone call.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah,
oh, wait a minute, I
call,
can't
I
say
know.
it's 699.
It's really my fault because I said to call. I thought you would understand. I was
We are
wrong.
astute listeners.
That takes thinking in two different sides of the brain, and I just couldn't do it today.
But we got it.
And I understand you can enter twice a day through August 9th.
Right.
So we'd appreciate your vote if you understand how to do it. If not, give us a call. We'll walk you through it again.
There you go.
Right.
In this segment, it's not really officially the lighter side, but we wanted to get a little lighter because we could use that nowadays. I think there's so much heaviness, so much division and disagreement that we have to take a breath once in a while. We can't change the world, but we can start with ourselves. And I came across a group of studies that talked about happiness. Happiness is becoming a science where people are studying happiness. I think we have to work harder at it maybe than we used to. Seems like it. So I came across an article on 9 happiness promoting behaviors backed by science. The first one is, and you guys read the article, right? So I'm not alone here. You're going to join me.
Yep.
And the first one says relationships are essential. And that's where a lot of happiness comes from. There was a Harvard study of adult development. And I think we see that again and again in studies, that it's relationships that bring you your happiness and your security in life.
Well, that makes perfect sense when you think about it. A child needs that nurturing from their parents. That's a relationship. Your friends are a relationship, and those bonds sometimes are tighter than family. And of course, siblings and grandparents, coworkers can be considered a relationship as well. And we're not talking, something outside of work hours. We're talking about things that nurture you emotionally. To me, happiness is a choice versus something that happens to me. And if you start looking at the universe and think that everything is happening for you versus happening to you, you're going to have a happier outlook all the way around.
I agree.
And you say when it's after work hours, we're trying to be nurturing, Jan, but but we know there's more. And I think, and I'm kidding you, but your point was really that a lot of people get a lot of their self-esteem from their work, right? And you've got to pull away from that sometimes and nurture family and friends and community relationships. Like not to keep bringing Valley City into this, but I don't think they'll mind. Is that one of what I liked. Something I liked about meeting with everybody there is the community relationships they have. They really do work together as a community. And that's what I like about Bismarck and a lot of these communities in North Dakota is they're small enough, not that you can't do it in a big city too, but you have to reach out and form relationships and community with people. And that is one of the top things to find happiness. The second one was time beats money, which means that quality time, spending your time in a valuable way is going to bring you greater happiness than having more money. Don't we all feel like, here we go, yeah, that you're going to feel happy if you just take a little time for yourself, relax. There are some things money cannot buy.
Right, that's true. And for me, I mean, go back to number one as well, as far as building those relationships. And I think the more you can learn how to do that on a personal level, starting at home with your parents, not all the stuff on the phone so much as, as an example, as just building those relationships. And then as kids grow, by the time they hit junior high, they crave those relationships with friends and how to build them and and so the more of that they learn to start with, the better off they are. And that's where the nurturing comes. It doesn't come through a screen. It comes through personal contact. Yeah.
It does, and I think it's cyclical because the more time you spend on your devices, the less you spend with people, the lonelier you are. The lonelier you are, the more time you spend on your devices. So, you just got to pull yourself away. And it's not just the young people, it's us too,
Well, and there were plenty of studies during COVID of how much the isolation was hurting people because they couldn't see people at work. They couldn't see their friends if they were younger or older. I mean, all of it where it was so isolated, and that's not healthy for anybody to be that isolated for a long period of time.
And even though money cannot buy love, money does count. So this is what they have found in the studies, that it's not important at all, that you need enough money to pay the bills. And they estimate that usually it's going to depend on your cost of living where you live. What would you estimate as the comfortable income that people don't worry about money? What would you guess?
It depends on how many kids they have and what their
That's
lifestyle
true.
is.
Okay, you ruined my question.
I'm sorry.
Carmen.
Well, if you got six
There's
kids
the answer.
versus one. Oh.
Yeah, you're right, Carmen. It depends on well, it doesn't always. Sometimes you can spend a lot more with one kid than you can with 10. I found great buys at Roman sales, and we saved a lot of money that way. $75,000, they say, is about the number where people can live in a way that they have enough to pay their bills. They don't have to worry about it. But it's not so much. Once you get to that point, you don't have to keep trying to make more and more and more money because money doesn't buy you happiness. Right?
That's true.
We know that.
That's true.
And then next, number 4, is it's worth stopping to smell the roses, which we talked about time, but it's more than just that. Maybe you haven't set aside a big amount of time, but, notice the grass and the trees and just enjoy what's around you.
Recently I posted something on Facebook and it said, I'm going to paraphrase because I don't remember the words exactly, but it's like, when it's time, don't quit, rest.
Okay.
You get overwhelmed. Life gets in the way, so to speak. things happen, things pile up, and you're looking for some kind of escape. Maybe it's just take a break. Maybe it's take a break from social media. Maybe it's take a break from that toxic relationship with that person you work with or whatever. Maybe it's just saying no to something once in a while and
go have
give
a cup of
yourself a
coffee or-
break.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
bet.
We only have 2 minutes, so I want to make sure we touch on everything, or people
sure.
are going to be left hanging. Okay. Number 5 is an act of kindness. I love that one.
Yes.
And whatever you hear, whatever you do to others comes back to you, and you can't
Tenfold.
give without receiving. So acts of kindness. I don't know how you could, you don't want to be taken advantage of, but that general act of giving and helping others, the love really does come back. Number 6 is breaking a sweat is more about burning calories. Okay, getting back to the volleyball uniforms for the Olympics, here we are again. But anyways, we'll just skip over that one. Studies show that increased levels of activity, get busy, get up. My watch tells me I need to stand and breathe sometimes. I guess sometimes I have to be told by my watch. But we need to do that, get up and break a sweat and just move around a little bit more. Because I think sometimes just sitting, we feel like we're having a bad day. We'll get up and go outside and go for a little walk or something, or stretch your legs.
The less you do, the less you do.
Yes, that's right.
Number 7, fun is more valuable than material items. We know that. Do something fun.
Yeah.
And what's number 8, Carmen?
Number 8 is it helps to stay in the present, in the moment. Several studies have found that people who practice mindfulness, meditation, experience greater well-being. I will tell you, if I don't get my time like that every morning, no, I can function, but I function much better if I get that time. Okay, next.
Yeah. And do you know what the 9th one is, Jan?
I don't. Which one?
Time spent with
family
and friends.
Okay.
Family and
There
friends.
you go.
Family, of course, and
There you
friends.
go.
Yeah, spend some time with your family and friends, because you can lose track of them if you don't make the time. So do that.
That's right.
When we come back, this was like a pre-lighter side. We lightened you up a little bit, and we have another fun lighter side when we come back with Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Deciding how to promote your business can be hard. Visit the professionals at Dakota Promotions and Printing and let them help you through your struggle. Dakota Promotions provides promotional items and apparel, from corporate gifts to team shirts and everything in between. With quick turnaround times and friendly service, they are your best choice. And best yet, you're shopping local. Visit them online at dakotapromo.com or stop in their showroom at 320 West Main in Mandan. Dakota Promotions, delivering promotions just for you.
Calling all first responders. Join us Saturday, July 31st for First Responders Night at the Bismarck Event Center. The Bucks take on the Green Bay Blizzard with a 7:10 p.m. Central Time kickoff, and will highlight those who serve and protect our communities. For more information on tickets, visit bismarckbucks.com and download your free general admission ticket today. Saturday, July 31st, it's the Blizzard versus your Bismarck Bucks. See you on the 31st. Go Bucks!
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
I'm Rick Becker from No Apologies. Welcome to your after hours oasis of sanity. Watch us weeknights at 9 Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
Could you do us a favor? Beck TV is a finalist for Best Local TV Station in the Bismarck Tribune's Best of the Best. Vote now through August 9th by text or online. Vote for your leader in local, Beck TV.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck, and welcome to the lighter side. We tried to be a little light in part of the show today. A lot of it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really appreciated Dave Carruthers and Mary Lee Nielsen coming in, talk about flooding and all the byways that we have here in the area.
The flooding wasn't the positive part. That was something they worked through,
The
and that was
solution.
positive.
The
Yes.
solution was positive. That's why I
right.
thought this is of interest, because people have flooding all over the country. But right now, in the news, we are hearing a lot about the Olympics, especially gymnastics, with Simone Biles. And we're going to keep it light, but I want to touch on that. But I want to take a look at how gymnastics has changed over the years. I have a little clip. So there on the left are the old school 1950s. Look at that, compared to 2016.
Whoa.
Look at that. Look at the difference. You know, just doing a flip over the...
This is incredible.
Yeah. Hanging upside down was an Olympic event back in the day. Yeah, look at that.
Go.
Look at that.
I made it
like
over.
A big deal, right? I mean, it is a big deal. I can't do that. But now, oh my gosh. You can't even believe the human body. Of course, we're looking at Simone Biles there, and she does things that nobody else can do, none of the women can do.
It's much more about the theatrics in the old days, and it's much more about the athleticism now, or at least that's what I got from those pictures.
Well, they didn't know all the things she could do. You know, you're always pushing the limits. I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to top this. And, you know, cartwheels, flip.
Well, and I think that, like you said, the old clips, it's more of a
artistic
grace and beauty flow kind of thing versus it's like, watch this.
Yeah.
In today's world, it's like, how far can you go? You know,
well, isn't that with everything?
Hold my beer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Look at old movies and the special effects that everybody was just amazed at. Like, wow, look at that. Now we laugh at them.
Oh,
you know, back in the day, to show scenery, they would just have some fakey moving scenery behind them. And now the special effects are mind-blowing.
Oh, that's like on old reruns of like the original Star Trek. And you see what they use for special effects. You can just about tell who was doing what in the background to make something happen.
Right.
And now it's like, it's all computerized. You can't tell what's real, what's actually there. If somebody's driving a car, the scenery is going behind them. And if they sort of flip the camera to what the driver is viewing, you're getting everything almost 3D. It's crazy. It never used to be like that.
I remember the old movies when there would be a thunderstorm. You know, the hit the tin and the, I mean, it was fun though. It was fun to be entertained like that. And then as kids, you know, maybe a parent would suggest, well, maybe try and make thunder sound, you know, and then you'd get busy, get creative. And it was a way to spur creativity too, you know.
Your childhood was very different from mine. My parents were saying, stop making all that noise.
Well, you were doing it without them suggesting.
Exactly.
We had a piece of old equipment that was on a vacant lot when I was growing up, and it's something that we absolutely shouldn't have been anywhere near. It was in a fenced area. We had a space in the fence. We crawled under, and we would get up on top of it and jump. And they thought that there was some type of weather event coming because it rattled that loud. We called it the lion cages. It makes no sense to anybody except the kids from the hood and maybe some of my siblings, but we had such a blast.
Where was the hood in North Dakota? I'm from Detroit. I want to know where North Dakota's hood is.
Everybody's neighborhood is their hood.
Okay, you're right.
You know,
yes.
So it was just an area, you know, the neighborhoods were full of children.
Yeah.
and you all tried to live as close to a school as possible back then so that the kids could walk. And so the neighborhoods were filled with playmates, essentially.
Yes, they were.
You know, it didn't matter the ages. If you were the one walking down the street or riding your bike, you found somebody in the neighborhood. You stopped and
did.
said hi. You made friends. And it didn't matter what size, shape, color, or length of hair they had. You just were looking for a new friend.
And if new neighbors were moving in, you hung out when the moving truck came. You were all standing around waiting to see, are there toys, are there kids? You waited to see
what they unloaded.
And then you couldn't wait to meet the new family because more kids for the neighborhood, right?
Oh, my husband would say Volnafiti, which is like negatively curious in German, or German-Russian, I guess. And they'll call me a Stetlo, which means that I'm a city slicker and I don't know how to speak any German. So I'll take that tag as well because that's true.
Well, I know one thing that went on when my kids were young, and it's still going on today, and that is the street hockey, especially in the kids that aren't they're not near a hockey rink, or it's the middle of the summer and they love playing the game. They'll be out in the streets, in the neighborhoods, and they will be playing street hockey, and I love seeing it. It's like,
I did too.
What did
there's
they
the
use?
new generation of
Did
it.
they use a softball, a baseball, a tin can? What did they use?
Whatever they got their hands on.
I heard
I mean, not a rock that would fly through somebody's window. But
Right. Well, I mean, I heard of kick the can.
Right.
But I never played it, but I heard about it. You just
Kick
the can.
I'm glad we had a
What was the
neighborhood in
7-Up?
Bismarck.
Was that, what was the game?
Spin the bottle.
Spin the bottle, yeah.
No, that is not a neighborhood game. Not in my, you guys.
It could be. It depends on how
Right
bored
off
you
the
were.
end.
We need to start filtering what you guys are coming up with. That is not a neighborhood game. Spin the bottle. Kick the can, yes. But anyways.
That's a lighter side.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Well, I just want to remind everybody to please vote for Beck as you're the best of the best. There's the number, 701-369-9464. You can vote twice a day. You just put that in your phone, text 699, and you're good to go twice a day through August 9th. Thank you for joining us today. You can stay tuned for Down the Road with Joel Heitkamp. He doesn't usually agree with anything we say, but you know, variety is the spice of life. You got to know what everybody's saying. So join us again with Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Just like you, I had problems sleeping. I tried every pillow out there and nothing worked. 15 years ago, I invented MyPillow. It took me 2 years to develop because I wanted to have everything you would ever want in a pillow. I made sure that you could adjust my patented fill so you could have the exact support you need as an individual regardless of your sleep position. I also wanted a pillow that would last, so I made MyPillow machine washable and dryable. I back MyPillow with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Not only that, I do all my own manufacturing in my home state of Minnesota.
I really like the fact that it was made in the USA. I think that USA products are a better quality product. I've tried a lot of other pillows and nothing's worked like MyPillow.
I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm going to pass the savings directly on to you. For example, you get my 6-piece towel sets, regular $109.99, now only $44.98, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
I used to think that sheets were just sheets. I got the Giza Dream sheets. They are the most comfortable sheets I've ever had.
The Go Anywhere pillow is so easy to just roll up and take anywhere I want to go.
Go Anywhere pillow is really comfortable, so that's what I really like. It's nice and supportive and it's nice and small.
The MyPillow topper, for the first time, has enabled me to have a cool night's sleep. I'm able to go to bed and just get rest.
That's 3 inches of wonderful that's in the MyPillow mattress topper. It's just like a firm cloud.
MyPillow helps me get a good night's sleep so I can do my job in the morning.
Go to MyPillow.com to get deep discounts, not just on my pillows, but so much more. For example, you get my 6-piece towel sets, regular $109.99, now only $44.98, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.